Video Killed the Radio Star presents the music videos of Phil Collins. In this episode, producer and broadcaster Paul Flattery and writer and journalist Neil McCormick examine the music videos of one of the 80s most prolific singers, songwriters and multi-instrumentalists.
Jim said to me, I've always wanted to do a video that was all around the world because you obviously couldn't afford to do it financially. Phil's manager, Tony Smith, said, I want you guys to come on tour with us. And Take Me Home seemed to be the obvious song. We suggested that to Tony, and he said, sure. Jim wrote out the lyrics to the song, the hotel notepaper, and he wrote down where Phil would be at what time.
In some ways it looks like the biggest budget video ever because, he sings one line in London, the next thing he's in Sydney, and then he's in, Tokyo, and then he's in New York.
Graceland was kind of funny because, and I don't think Phil knew it at this time, but on tour, the crew used to call Phil Little Elvis. So going to Graceland was just scandalous.
His everyman persona is fundamental to his appeal.
Phil was playing Radio City Music Hall in New York, and it was kind of funny that these New Yorkers are going by, and there's the marquee, Phil Collins playing tonight. He's on top of the marquee singing, and nobody was bothered.
The art of Phil Collins is the songwriting, the production, the voice, but people liked Phil Collins because he seems like a relatable, humorous person who's not taking all of this too seriously. He's not from another world, he's from your world. That was his persona. Most of the 80s pop stars, the superstars, came on like they were from another world. Phil Collins came on like he was from next door.
High noon. Shane.
The idea for Don't Lose My Number, we had to come up with when we got to Australia.
Once upon a time in the West.
The Alamo?
We were moving all the time.
The 310 to Yuma.
The Wild Bunch?
We had to do the video in little bits and in different places.
The man who shot Liberty Valance.
Fistful of dollars.
There was a joke that we used to have in music video.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
About directors
Clint Eastwood.
pitching their ideas in the style of their videos.
Gary Cooper.
John Wayne.
So the first director
Henry Fonda.
in,
Burt Lancaster.
he was basically Julian Temple.
Kirk Douglas.
Robert Redford.
Paul Newman.
Steve McQueen. Mal Craggs.
And this was just a really big in-joke because the tour manager was Mal Craggs.
Don't Lose My Number was the third single from his 1985 multi-million selling No Jacket Required.
The tour production manager plays the town sheriff, and he's got the beautiful wife waiting there. That's a High Noon reference. And then we kind of did a bit of a Sergio Leone where he loves those close-ups of just the eyes.
And so the video is a video of directors discussing the ideas for videos. About as meta as you can get.
Some were parodies of real videos, and some were not. Like Mad Max was obviously from the film.
Each of the ideas is a quite a cleverly played satire. You know, he satirizes a lot of other big videos of the time. You know, there's The Police, Every Breath You Take.
Phil was a little concerned about what Sting would think, and we said, Sting's going to be the least of your problems when this video gets out. Another one we modeled after Bob Giraldi, who used dancers in Beat It and a Pat Benatar video, Love is a Battlefield.
So what happens in the guitar solo?
Okay, well, by now we're outside the fort. This is not the scale, of course.
The whole point of the video was we could see the pitch that the directors had, and we'd see Phil in that video, and then dress up and be silly, but then say, no, that's not me.
You ride right through the front gate, then you see the evil king, you raise your crossbow, and
the fat guy with the sandwich gets rebuffed. He just does that instant thing, which we all do.
It's not really me, though.
Okay, you're at the beat.
And then we go to a parody of Russell Mulcahy's Elton John, I'm Still Standing, that we shot, I think, on Bondi Beach.
He's fulfilling a fantasy, while at the same time he's not punctuating his everyman persona.
They came at night, leading
We wanted to get a Japanese female director, but she couldn't speak English. She is saying in Japanese the lyrics to the song, which he's translating from Japanese to English, lyrics that Phil wrote. All the time, the lyrics are playing in the background.
And it really pokes at the pomposity of video directors, of the whole scene. It sort of has its cake and eats it too.
There was a very famous video the Cars had done, which featured Rick Ocasek as a fly. The whole thing on a lot of these things was, how's it going to end?
So how does it end?
Jim wanted this to go on ad infinitum, so that people would end the video whenever they wanted.
So how does it end?
In the end, we mercifully just did it like 6 times, I think.
So how does it end?
Two Hearts from 1988 is from the soundtrack of the film Buster, in which Phil really got to fulfill his acting ambitions and played, not going too far from type. He played, a good-hearted East End bloke who also happened to be a train robber.
Well, there was no reason to believe she'd always be there, but don't put faith.
And it's the story of the great train robbery and how, he fled the police, but he didn't want to be separated from his wife.
Don't look down, just look up, 'cause she's always there behind you, just to remind you of two hearts.
Phil was asked to write some music for the film. He wrote this song with Lamont Dozier, who was from the famous songwriting team of Holland, Dozier and Holland.
The song itself is, you could say it's a Motown pastiche.
So we would do this kind of 60s TV show with Phil playing all the parts in this band, this group. But how do we fit in the film?
There's so much of my life in her, and it's like I'm blinded.
So he plays an editor, a film editor, who's basically editing the trailer of the movie. So that's an excuse to throw in scenes from the movie.
Two hearts living in just one mind, beating together.
That video was technically really, really difficult. It doesn't look it, but the layers that are involved, shooting on video with the TV, transferring that to kinescope, having it run at a certain frame rate so you can shoot it off the TV.
He's there as every musician. There's little things going on, little interactions. That, by any standards, would be the video. But that's just, one side of the video. Then you've got the film trailer, which the guy is editing.
When you have to make a video that's being used in a film, you're serving two masters, and it can be very tricky.
So yeah, he plays a lot of people in that movie because he's 4 members of the band. He's the editor, but he's also the star of the movie. So he's constantly cutting to himself. That's a lot of Phil Collins. We're in the Matrix now with Phil, actually.
Another Day in Paradise was about him going on his American tours and seeing all the homeless people, especially in Washington, D.C. And it was like, here's this capital of probably the richest country on the planet, and there are homeless people sleeping in the streets.
She calls out to the man on the street, "Sir, can you help me? It's cold and I'm nowhere to sleep. Is there somewhere you can tell me?"
And this image stayed with him. It was disturbing, and he wrote a very simple, very beautiful, very heartfelt song, which is saying, for you and me, it's just another day in paradise, but for these people, there's real suffering.
Seems embarrassed to be there. Oh, think twice, 'cause it's another day for you and me in paradise.
So when it came to shooting it, we couldn't find a time. He couldn't do it in London, and he said, "I can give you an hour in New York." And we said, "Done, we'll take it."
It's a very different video for Phil Collins. Because it's a very different song, it demanded a different treatment.
She calls out to the man on the street. He can see she's been crying.
So we had the setup with everything to go to shoot Phil, just Phil at the piano doing the song. And He walked in, he did it, and he was gone. From the moment he walked in, the moment he walked out, it was no more than an hour. So when he'd gone, then Jim, because Jim is a musician and quite a good one, and he could mimic almost anything. So he then played the keyboards and the guitar. So it's him that you see in that video.
Came in for a lot of criticism for it, but the criticism is that, a superstar millionaire is exploiting these impoverished and destitute people.
You can tell from the lines on her face. You can see that she's been there, probably been moved on from every place.
There's always a bunch of people that think these rock stars should stay out of the real world. But of course, they come from the real world too. They see the same stuff that we see.
Think twice. It's just another day for you. You and me in paradise.
And certainly when he went on tour, they had people there collecting money for the homeless, and in the end he matched everything that was collected. So, it wasn't like some empty gesture. He actually was trying to alleviate suffering.
It's just another day for you and me in paradise.
But the song itself just stands up. Its message comes through loud and clear. One of these things that makes the video work is that it's sad.
Appendicitis? What are you doing to me? He'll miss the opening. This is the most important number in the show.
The idea for Wish It Would Rain Down.
Can someone else sing it?
What about Billy? He's got a good voice.
Is based on an Ambrose Bierce short story.
He used to be the drummer in a really good band, and when the singer left, he took over.
Let me ask you a question.
Called Occurrence at Owl Creek.
How good can he be if he's back playing drums again?
I swear, I don't believe I'd see you in these parts again, Mr. Beauregard.
Well, y'all know, this war has changed many a man's anticipations, ma'am.
Terrible! Or you said you could act.
Hey, I never said I could act. He said I could sing.
All right, play the song.
It plays up on the idea of the everyman guy fulfilling his show business fantasies.
You let somebody imagination run, and then you pull the rug out, and they're back where they were. That's essentially it.
You know I never meant to see you again, but I only passed by.
He's a superstar at that time. They were spending a lot of money making videos there, and that is a big budget video, even though it's shot in black and white.
All this time I stayed out of sight.
That was one of the greatest scams in history, that artists and record labels would pay for videos and then give them for nothing to MTV, who would then make money from them.
Yes, I wish it would rain down on me.
It moves into an absolute fantasy, which you realize is the fantasy of little Bill Collins.
You said you didn't need me in your life. Oh, I guess you were right.
We shot it at the Belasco Theater, which is a beautiful 1920s theater downtown Los Angeles.
I never meant to cause you no pain, but it looks like I did it again.
It was meant to be, that period, the antebellum period.
Girl, I wish it would rain now.
We then see his own imagination of him succeeding beyond his wildest dreams. then he's a star. Then he's on tour.
Career rising. It's just a total fantasy of the rise to Hollywood success, the little drummer boy who could sing, starring in movies and picking up Oscars. And they do that by satirizing real films. You know, he pops in next to James Cagney in White Heat.
There's one part where he's playing Davy Crockett. We put him in with Marilyn Monroe. We would do headlines from Variety that we made up. There's a scene where he's in the Maltese Falcon with Humphrey Bogart, played by lookalike Robert Saatchi.
It is the biggest and most elaborate version. Maybe the ultimate Phil Collins video.
Well, sometimes when I go back and look at old videos, some I'm really embarrassed by, but a lot I'm very proud of, and that goes for pretty much most of the ones with Phil.
Phil just looks like every man wandering through video world. So he celebrates it and mocks it at the same time.
Thank you. Let's cut the number.
We should mention In the Air Tonight because there's one drum fill on that he is known for, that will be talked about long after he's gone, that's almost as big as the whole of his career, which is the